Okay, so this is what I believe to be the final timeline. We are currently right here on January 25. 40 days later is March 5, which I keep telling everyone I believe is the date of the rapture, the last trump. So we're dealing with the Western world time and the time over in Israel where their day begins the night before. So some of these days are going to overlap. That's why this looks a little bit confusing right here. So I'll start on March 6th. That's sunset in Israel will be March 7 when Shabbat Parah begins, which is the holiday where they sacrifice the red heifer. I believe that's what kicks off the 1335 days to Great Tribulation. Okay, Purim begins at sunset on March 3rd, which is March 4th in Israel. And I believe at the end of that day is the last trump. So right in here, I believe, is the rapture, 40 days from now. So 1335 days after the red heifer sacrifice brings us to Halloween on 2029. I believe next day is All Saints Day on the calendar. This is when I believe the Tribulation Saints rapture is. 1260 days before, according to Daniel 12:12, is when I believe tribulation begins. Sunset on May 20th is Shavuot in Israel. All right, 20 days from here, which is the duration of the tribulation period, is April 13th. The 14th in Israel is Passover and the blood moon. Okay, so we go back 1290 days. When the abomination that causes desolation is set up, that's Israel's Remembrance Day. Okay, and then what led me to all of this is the Daniel 8:14 prophecy of 2300 days until the sanctuary is cleansed. So we go up here to today, and it's not a literal 2300 days. It's a 2300 days, mornings and evenings, which is 1150 days. And that brings us to March 20, 2029. That's when the sanctuary is cleansed and they begin the daily sacrifice until the Great Tribulation and the Antichrist cuts them off. Now we're going to take a look at today. Today, Donald Trump read the snake poem 3,666 days from today. He is 955 months, 11 days old today. You'll see this 115 pattern because that's the prophecy of 2300 days, 1150 days. In fact, that was the duration of the COVID pandemic, 1150 days. 1150 days later, the Revelation 12 sign will be 11 years, 5 months, 25 days old. All right, so let's go back up here. Got the 511 code with Donald Trump. J.D. Vance, 15151 days old. Barron Trump, 7251 days. That's the date, the 25th day of the first month. The founder of Bitcoin is Satoshi Nakamoto, from his birth to Barron Trump's birth. There's the 115 and 152, the date. The initials for Bitcoin are BTC. I believe that's Barron Trump coin. Obama today, 521. Okay, the USA's age today, 1150. Here's a couple of movies that relate to today. Invasion USA, Rocket Attack USA, 115, 511. Countdown to Looking Glass. This is about a nuclear attack, 511. The World Trade Center movie from 2006, 115. The Empire State Building today, 1150 months. The Fall of Babylon, 115 years, 10 months. The Black Thursday market crash of 1929, 11551. The 2022 ERCOT Texas blackout during this time 4 years ago, 1115. ERCOT itself, the Texas grid, 125. That's today's date. 30 Days of Night, Dark Days, 5666 days. The blackout, 2019. This is 9/11 upside down and 25. This is literally about what's going on right now. The scenario is there is a global blackout, except for one small area in Eastern Europe. And I believe that's where the World Economic Forum was going on. So if we were to get emergency alerts on our cell phone, this is the program that does it, the iPause Mobile Emergency Alert System. This is the age of it today, 22525. Safety, the movie. Here's that 115 pattern again. Are they going to say peace and safety today? So I'll briefly run through this. 1150 days later brings us to Barron Trump's 23rd birthday. The movie, the number 23, will be 1151 weeks, 5 days old. Now, on that day, there's all of these 23 patterns. I believe this is leading us to the 10 kings and 7 heads, possibly. I don't know who exactly they are, but I'm just sharing my observations here. Donald Trump, 23. Erdogan, 23. Putin, 23. Modi, Starmer, Maloney, Zelensky, 511 and 23. Starmer with the 666. Netanyahu, 434. If you've been watching my videos, that is a Barron Trump reference. I believe this is possibly the next pope. 23. These are the 2 rabbinates. 156 is Barron Trump's number in gematria. 666 equals 156. And this 1225 for the other rabbinate, that is 1550 days previously. That's today's date, 125. And these are some kings from around the world that have the 23 and 115 pattern. It's pretty telling. Harold of Norway, 1105 months exactly. These are some Rapture movies that lead to today with the 115 code and the date. Rise of the Dead, George Bush NWO speech, the White Lion ship, Washington, D.C. Fire Department. This is interesting here. This is on my calendar, or my timeline, I have April 13th as the last day. From today to that day is 7/2/20. 7 years, 2 months, 20 days. From the alignment eclipse from 1962, 76722. Barron Trump was born 77 years, 2 months, 20 days after Aleister Crowley's Moonchild book. There's also a song called Thunderchild from the War of the Worlds musical album that Jeff Wayne came out with. From that album to Barron Trump's birth is 27 years, 2 months, 20 days. Then we have the Iranian terrorist that's on the FBI most wanted list, and I believe this is who is going to shoot Donald Trump today. And this is his age, 7220 weeks, which is also 15890 days, and you can get that number in gematria for both Donald Trump and Barron Trump, 589. I can explain that in the comments later if someone wants to know further about how that makes sense. The length of time that Majid has been on the FBI list, 1115. Dan Bongino, the outgoing FBI Assistant Director's age, 511 and 1512. Behold a Pale Horse, 125. That's today's date. The first 911 call made. It's today's date and 911. Revenge of the Red Baron. I believe this is how it plays out. Donald Trump gets assassinated and Red Baron becomes angry. From Napoleon's birth to today, 93,666 days. Donald Duck to Trump's birth, 12 years, 5 days. That is today's date, 125. Clear and present danger about an assassination of a president, 152. The Roosevelt assassination attempt, 1115 months, 10 days to today. Richard Nixon assassination attempt, 51 years, 11 months to today. Gandhi assassination, 2151 weeks, 5 days. Truman assassination attempt was on 11/1/50. The Lincoln assassination to today is 160 years, 9 months, 11 days. Lincoln's age at his death, 2515. That's today's date, 125. Let's see. Ford Theater, where Lincoln was shot. The address was 511 10th Street, 5111. This book, Encyclopedia of Assassinations, 151 months, 21 days today. And I believe that this one's really interesting. So 40 days from today is March 5th. If you go look at solarham.com, you'll see that a new giant sunspot has appeared, number 1355. Or is it 335? One of the two. But it's literally, what I'm trying to tell you is 40 days later is March 5th, when I believe the rapture is. Now, 1159 weeks, 6 days before this, was a X-28 flare. The movie The Carrington Event, 152 months, 15 days, and the actual Carrington event was 60,777 days before today. These are this was another martial law movie here. They both lead to today. The NSA, 3222, Skull and Bones. The movie 40 Nights, 521 weeks, 2 days. The Leave the World Behind movie release date. You see 125 in there. 2 week notice, 125. Now what's 2 weeks later? February 9th. That's when I believe there's going to be a nuclear war beginning. The Red Balloon to today, 25-1. That's today's date. This is the age of San Francisco today, 911-115. Tacoma, Washington, 521. Eve of Destruction, 726 months. That's Harpazo and Antichrist. Los Angeles overnight. Is this when this earthquake begins? The 1700 Cascadia tsunami. This is the date, 25th day of the first month, 9/11. Crack in the World by Sammy Hagar, 2520. That's the duration of the tribulation. Also the date, 25. Crack in the World, the movie, 1965, 22251. These are all just earthquake events. Don't Look Up, about a meteor hitting Earth. Vladimir Putin, the Russian Aerospace Forces, Belarus, Ukraine. These are a lot of territories along the New Madrid fault line. Airport, the Complete Collection, 6 years, 6 months, 6 days. Airport 77, 2552. Brooklyn Bridge, that's today's date, 125. So the duration of the COVID pandemic, from the COVID pandemic to today, 5 years, 10 months, 15 days. That's 511 and 115. Now they're coming out with this Nipah virus that they are talking about over in India, I believe, is where it's at. In simple gematria, you can see Nipah virus is 1197, just like 666. Exodus. What's going to happen today that will cause an exodus? Ethereum blockchain, crypto, 125, that's today's date. And a literal 2300 days from today brings us to May 13th, which is that evening is the beginning of the 84th year of Israel's existence.